We're here to talk about media bias or lack thereof. Dan Rather literally needs no introduction. He is the global correspondent as well as host of Dan Rather Reports on HDNet. David Sirota, author, columnist, journalist, and author of The Uprising. And Josh Silver is executive director of Free Press.
What's missing is kind of what Bill was getting at, is that what we need to see more, what the American people need to see more, that our 500,000 members are begging for, is less time about speculating on how this or that will affect the campaign and playing political theory, and more time getting the kind of information that Bill publishes about how does the rhetoric actually match the truth, both in terms of their proposed policy agendas and their voting records. Because there's a painful lack of that. And if we can get, and the information is there, it just needs to be, and it's not quite as sexy, but it needs to get out there.
The core issues here are that the press in the main has been in a defensive posture for some time. And that when the campaigns criticize something, the press tends to get in a defensive hunch. This is not worthy of us. It also is not commensurate with our core mission in the society. The press should be independent, capital I, fiercely independent when necessary, and even ornery from time to time, if it takes that to sort of crack through this veneer of charge and countercharge about what the press is or is not doing.
You know, if you were to talk about socializing the U.S. banking system in this country a month ago, you would have been considered to be outrageously outside of the debate set by the two major parties and considered sort of a nutty socialist. So, you know, and at the same time, we saw most of the, many times, Nobel-winning economists who were predicting this to occur. They weren't on the air. And at the same time, the same pundits who blew the reporting on the run-up to the war in Iraq, who blew the run-up to the financial crisis, and continually drop the ball on the most consequential issues facing our country, continue to be brought back on the air. So I think what's the problem, too, is a lack of fresh blood and a broader debate than that's established by the two major parties.
Our challenge as journalists is to make the important interesting, find a way to make it as interesting as possible. But I can't emphasize enough that much of this criticism we've talked about today, which may pass in one's mind for elitism or bias, is really a lack of having grit in the gut to ask the really tough question and keep coming with the tough question until the candidate answers it or it's explicitly clear that he or she isn't going to answer it. My point is that fear, no one is fearless, but fear shouldn't be in the DNA of an American journalist. I italicize American journalism. American journalism stands for, it's wobbled in recent years, particularly in the run-up to the war, but what American journalism is supposed to stand for is clear-eyed, well-researched, know the facts, look them in the eye, ask them the tough questions, don't back down, don't back away, just keep coming. That's the kind of coverage the American public deserves. It's the kind of coverage they don't get nearly enough of, and I don't accept myself in that criticism.
A great point to end on.